Good morning. Good morning. It is the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, a day built for someone like myself, made for someone like myself. I'll let you figure out what I'm talking about. Anyway, how are you? We are on our 33rd consecutive live stream. Lots to talk about today. But I think that the best thing to talk about, at least at first, would be how did I sleep? That's why you're on the live stream, right? That's the first reason. So there's a thing about smoke detectors. It's like spring forward, fall back, and you're supposed to replace your batteries every time. That means you'll never run out of batteries. Now, I've always thought that was kind of grandiose or scandalous, because there's still battery left in the smoke detector, and we're just wasting it. Like to me, that seems wrong. We should try to get our entire use out of the product. And so I don't. Another reason why is because what happens is the little battery, when it goes dead, then the smoke detector starts making this little chirping noise. It's very high pitched and annoying, and it decided to do that in my room, my bedroom, at about 2:03 this morning. Oh my God. I was sleeping soundly, and this thing just starts going beep, beep. And I was like, because it had happened a while before in my stepdaughter's room, and I knew what it was then, but I was still awake. I had just gone to bed at that point in time. It was like 11 o'clock at night. This was 2 a.m. I was completely sound asleep. Anyway, now I've got a problem, because you may not know this about me, and why would you? I have terrible vision. I have to wear very high prescription contact lenses. My glasses are actual Coke bottles, and it's terrible. And so now I'm blind in the middle of the night with this noise. Wife doesn't even hear it, because wife is very good at these sorts of things, sleeping through terrible noises. So I have to get, what do you do? For the first 5 minutes, I was like, maybe it'll stop. It didn't stop. No, it just kept going. So I got out of bed, and you know how you're half awake? I decided that it'd be best if I got the step stool from the kitchen, which is a rickety old thing that isn't built for a I'm going to go with 20-pound fellow. Okay. I'm going to say 220, but it's probably worse. And so I go up there, and I hit the button. No, it's rickety. And so there's nothing to hold on to. So I climb up there half awake, open it up, and got to check something because I screwed up. And anyway, I open it, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself that I didn't fall and kill myself. And then open the thing, the battery falls out onto the floor. My wife says, "Good job," and then goes back to sleep. And meanwhile, I'm awake for another half hour. Finally get back to sleep. 2-3 nightmares later, I'm up and ready to deliver a show to you today. So, how are you? How is it going for you? I'm going to tell you how it's going for me, and I don't know if you'd be really happy about it. I don't know. Let's get to it. Okay, so I have these things. First of all, I got a phone call yesterday. I got a phone call from a smug person, and they started their conversation off with me smug. It's never good when you come at me smug. Okay, and it was like this. Yes, I represent golf clubs in St. Louis. Many of the finest golf clubs that you could ever know. Briarcrest, Sunset Hills, and like 12 others. And what I'm doing today is we're sponsoring many things, and we want you to be a part of it. You could use some more business now, couldn't you? Freaking guy. And I said, no, I can't use any business. Like, I want a bunch of business from somebody like you. He's like, oh, come on. Then he just changed his voice to, oh, come on. You could use more business. I'm like, no, go away. Go away. Go call someone else. Here's the thing. Like, look, and this is what I wrote this down because it was such a transformative event. I have read numerous cold call sales books. Okay. Why? Because at times I've thought that might be the best way to get forward in real estate. Is it? Not for me. Not for me. But anyway, so I know all the tricks, or at least I knew all of them up until probably 2017. Not that far off. So here's a couple things. Number one, if you're going to use a value proposition, really make it valuable. Like, you need to go with something like this. Hey, hello. Yes, I would like to offer you a wonderful opportunity. If you spend $1,000, how would you like to spend $1,000 and return on that investment $4,000? Well, you can do that if you sponsor this event. Okay. Well, now there you go. Oh, who wouldn't want to do that? Tell me more. But don't come at me with some smug. I mean, first of all, I don't golf. Now you say, well, John, if you did, you'd have more business. Fine. When do I have time to golf? I don't have time to do anything. So now I'm going to go golfing? I mean, I don't even see my family. So that's not going to work. But anyway, so that's number one. Number two, if you're going to be in sales, okay, in this day and age, 2022, okay, like here's a hint. Go Google my business. Go look on YouTube if there's anything about me. And then if there is, when you're on your phone call being smug, maybe ask me questions and talk to me like you know who I am. That might get you somewhere. But this was just such a ham-handed effort. And then to get mad at me when I told him I couldn't use any more business. That's just the icing, the cherry on the top. It's a horrible call. That guy's not going to do very well at all with people like me. Now, would he do well with like a cousin that's in real estate? Sure. Maybe he's got a couple cousins. It's St. Louis. You know, everybody knows everybody. So maybe he knows somebody that's going to give him business. But don't call me out of the blue. Don't call me out of the blue. Don't ask me don't make it. Can I use more business? What kind of stupid? Yes, I can, but not from people like you. That's the answer. No. Arrogance. Who do you think you are calling me, begging me for money? Seriously, like did you not know that I had the worst year ever in my career last year? And you're going to come at me for money now? And with this smug, you know what? I mean, seriously, it's just not going to work. It's just like this. I went to the high school. I graduated from the high school, okay, that my kids are going to now. Okay. My mother graduated from the high school that I went to and that my kids are going to now. And so how do they get my business? They have some clown outfit in Texas calling me saying, hey, do you want to put a billboard at a football game? Seriously. If somebody from the administration were to ever call me and say, hey, would you sponsor something? Would you put up a banner? I'd do it in a heartbeat. But how do they do it? Well, we'll farm it out because it's not that important. Whatever you want to do. If you think that's the best plan, I mean, who wouldn't want to support a high school in their sports? I mean, I have a Bachelor of Sport. My name is literally on a plaque, still there. My oldest daughter, she took me to school the other day because she had to go to this stupid meeting. We walked by the case. My name is still on that case. It's still there. I graduated in 1995. Yes. I'm the only one in my family that is on that piece of paper. She's not even going to do it. So don't come at me with like, hey, and I literally live in my community. Do you know how many people from my school left? Went for better and bigger things? Many. I'm still here. I love this place as much as one can. and you are not supporting me. Just saying. So, yeah, why you say, here's the counter. John, I just have to make 1,000 phone calls a day. It doesn't really matter if the people use my business or not. It's just, I make 1,000 calls and then the next day I wake up and I make 1,000 more calls. Okay. For me to research 1,000 different businesses to call them first just to get hung up on isn't worth my time. Well, maybe, but I mean, the way you're doing it now isn't going to work. Now, here's where it is. When you act smug, when you're asking for something, it doesn't come across well. But it was in this man's nature because I know how this went. This man was an executive at some organization for 30 years. Okay. Now he's retired and the golf company says, hey, we got a little job for you. We know you like to hit the links. Why don't you do this for us for a couple hours a day? And then you can just go back to the links. And he's like, well, everyone at work respected me. Everyone at work thinks I'm wonderful. When I retired, they gave me a party and a gold watch. Clearly some guy that's never met me is going to say yes to everything I say because I live in a bubble. It's like, yeah. I mean, if you want to see the definition of failure, you get on my live stream. What am I on? I'm on the 33rd consecutive live stream, and I have not had one extra view. That's the definition of failure. And yet I still go. I still do it. Why? I don't know. I think it's fun. And let's go into the next breaking news. Last night, late, Google accepted my live stream for my new channel, Our Nature of Employment. I set up all the data that I needed to do the first one. It will go live tonight. Now, a couple things. One, we're going to talk about topics that make me uncomfortable. Okay. If they make me uncomfortable, I suspect it will make Google uncomfortable. So will we be on the air for a long time? I don't know. I feel like if I read a story from a journal, article from a reputable, quote unquote, reputable news organization, that it should be fair game. Meaning, if it's controversial, that's on you. I'm reading the article. If it's printed, I'm reading it. That's not beyond the bounds to me. And we're talking reputable, and I am self-censoring. But I don't think that's going to fly with YouTube. I think I'm going to get booted. So it ought to be fun. That's why, it's to me, it's not like outside the pale. It's going to literally talk about employment issues in a number of different ways because employment has gotten flat weird in the United States. It doesn't make any sense. And you say, well, that's you're a bonehead. Well, look, and there's bone up there. There's no question. So we'll just go through it. We'll just go through it and see. I can't predict the future, but I'm excited about it. Now, is it going to be problematic for me? Well, on a couple fronts, yes. One, we are going to switch over to StreamYard. So will you sponsor me at StreamYard? Well, I'm going to have to build my own website, I guess. Or I got to build something on locals. But really, to be honest, nobody's going to start watching the first night anyway. I mean, I can't even, if you look it up on YouTube right now, you can't even get the channel. Like it doesn't come up unless you have the exact URL for the channel. So that's a problem. Then, if it's anything like YouTube is for me now, nobody's going to watch because there'll be like 10 other people to watch. I love the live streaming. Love it. I say, are you afraid of things happening? Yes. That's why it's fun. That's why it's fun. And I watch Twitter. I watch these things and it's like, wow. It's hard for me to believe that people think this way, like anyone. And so I suspect some of those people are going to come at me. Anyway, I'm trying to make it tonight. I have showings that start at 3:30 today. and my last showing's at 7:30. So we're looking at like 9 o'clock maybe. And I don't know how long I'm going to stream. I don't know. I don't have the format completely done. I have topics, and I feel like I have topics that I can use at any time. Like more than enough. I don't think I'll ever have any problem. One of the problems that I've had in my Deerwood Realty podcast is that, like, how many stories can you do about someone somebody's neighbor getting their dog shot, or someone poisoning their neighbor's dog, or someone killing their neighbor? Something about killing and dogs. You can only do so many of those before you're just like, this isn't interesting to me. Now, I have not done a podcast this week. It's Friday. You say, well, what's wrong? I see you every day. I've been busting my hump to get my taxes done. And by done, I mean just put in a position so that I can send it to the guy. I've got to get them over there today. I cannot wait any longer. Now, will my taxes be suspended or something, or will I have to file an extension? Maybe. But as long as I have it over there, I don't really care. It's not on. And then if they say to me like, hey, we're going to have to do an extension, go for it. Just charge me, whatever. I don't care. At this point, I just need to get it done. Yesterday, I did mileage for a real estate agent. Mileage. Oh my God. Do you realize? I think we drive more than delivery people. I mean, tremendous amount of mileage. Even last year when my business was terrible, I had a tremendous amount of mileage. I got to do my home office, which is where we are right now. That's it. I did mileage. I did my business books, but I do have to do the office. So, and the wife has to give me all her stuff. So anyway, taxes today, very important to get that done. Showings this afternoon, very important to get that done. And then that leads me into another topic. Now, see, this never happens to me, but it is today. Let's talk about something that I've run into that it's not good. Okay. Your real estate agent, John, which is me. I like to do things in an as efficient way as possible. And I do this for a couple of reasons. One, I'm lazy. I don't like to have to really think too hard. Like, I like to just get things done. Okay. Now, I'm not the best. I can analyze something for months and not get it done. And that's a weakness. So if you're on the stream for the first time and you're trying to find out if I'd be a good match for you as a real estate agent, I don't know. I would think so, because you've watched me for like the last 20 minutes. Okay. But anyway, I like to get things done in an efficient way because I don't like to think about it. And once I get it done, it's off of my mind. Okay. I like my mind to be at peace. It isn't ever, but I like to strive for this. Okay. And so yesterday was one of the worst times ever for scheduling. Now, I've never done the worst online before. Worst. And I just thought it was funny, so we just did it again. Anyway, okay, let me tell you how it went. So I have these, and this is not a complaint against the buyers. I love the buyers. They're great people. Buyers say, so I first wake up in the morning and I look at my schedule for showings, and it's like, oh, you picked the wrong day, you idiot. Okay, because I had like I have a lot of buyers calling me right now, and you say, well, that's a good problem to have. It is, but it gets dicey. So I looked and I was wrong. I scheduled it for the wrong night. Like the way the thing was set up in the internet, I screwed up. So I texted them. I said, I screwed up. We're supposed to meet tomorrow night and not tonight. And they're like, okay. I don't think we can make it. So, okay. So then I canceled that appointment and I set an appointment for Saturday at 2 p.m. And I'm just putting it out there, Saturday at 2 p.m. So then they wanted to see another house anyway. So I added that afterwards. And then the husband was busy. The wife was she was busy as well, but she was able to communicate. So I just switched over to the wife. And then I got a text back from the husband. He's like, oh, we'll just go. It's cool. I was like, so then I had to move all the appointments back to the night to tonight. Meanwhile, I have another lady that really wants to see a bunch of houses, and I had her scheduled for before then, and it was going to be really great. It was going to be all in one set. But then two of the houses that she wants to see aren't available to be shown, which doesn't help me at all, which is another thing we're going to talk about in a minute. Remind me. I should write it down. I'm going to write it down because I forget things. You guys know who I am. You know who I am. Don't you know who I am? Okay. That's going to be a rant for itself. All right. So anyway, then now the way it's set up is I'm going to be driving out to Maryland Heights, which is, I say out to, it's northwest of me. Then I'm going to be coming into the Central West End, or the CWE as I like to call it. Then I'm going to be going down to South City. But in between, I have an hour in my car. Now, some real estate agents are really good at using their car as an office. I'm not. I can make a call. I can do that, but other than that, I'm pretty worthless. I mean, I'm just bad at it. I'd like to listen to music. I'd like to do other things. So now I've got an hour in between, and I'll probably just sit in a parking lot somewhere and just wait. You say, well, if you did use that time, then you have more time in the day. I get it, but what am I going to do on my phone? Like, seriously, like, how am I going to get anything done? I mean, have you ever tried to type out an email on a phone? It takes forever. You could go speech to text, John. No. I don't want to do that. Again, we're just, I want to complain about what I know. Now, let's get to the complaint. Look, houses are selling for what, $80,000 over asking price? A $250,000 house in St. Louis did that to me the other day. I have another one I want to talk to you about, but I got to pull up an email. Anyway, look, how the house home sales are ridiculous right now. Okay, absolutely ridiculous. And so, if you're an agent, your job is to get the house on the market, get it shown, get it in front of as many people as possible, and get it gone. Okay. Now, it goes a number of different ways, because I have another story about this. It's wild. Today is just many stories about real estate. So anyway, strategy: list the house maybe Monday, coming soon. Put the house on the market, active maybe Thursday, Friday showing, Saturday showing, Sunday showing. Offers due Monday. Make a decision by Tuesday. That's it. That's the game. That's how you do it. So some of these people, some of these agents are so old school or so dumb. I think dumb is the word. They're doing no shows until open houses in this market. So this not intelligent agent is listing their house, no show until the open house on Sunday at 1. Okay. So now I get to spend my afternoon going to an open house when I know I don't want to go to it. And then the offers are due by noon on Monday. You make it so you can't show the house, woman. And I say woman because she's a woman. At least that's what it says on the sheet. It's not like I'm not criticizing all women by saying this woman. If it were a man, I would say he's an idiot. I don't know if idiot's the right word, like on YouTube, but whatever the word is for not being intelligent and not having a single thought that's smart, that's what this is. I mean, 2022, the market is just vicious. Okay. And you're going to play this game. I mean, it's to the point where when I see the person wanting to show one of my houses, maybe I'll make it so that it's not able to be shown anytime she wants to look, because this is stupid. And you say, John, you can't do that. That goes against the Realtor Code of Ethics. Well, probably. Yeah. So I probably shouldn't. Or I probably shouldn't openly confess that I would do such a thing on a live stream that someone could record and play back. Now, will someone? I've done almost 100 live streams. I've probably done more than that at this point. I was on a run. I did 69 consecutive live streams, and now I'm on my, 33rd? So I've done over 100 live streams. That's 100 hours. Do you want to sit through 100 hours with the confession one time that I might think about doing such a thing to one agent who I think isn't doing their job very well? I mean, if you're their seller, you've got to be like totally, it's got to be an estate. Somebody moved to a nursing home and this woman is listing the house. and working with the person that moved to the nursing home. Oh, that seems like a great idea. You should really go ahead with that. Oh, we're going to create demand by limiting the house time to sell? Great. I'd like some pudding. Okay. I'm not making fun of the aged. I have deep respect for the aged, but boy, they get tricked all the time. Not by me. Not by me. So anyway, the people that do this no shows until open houses on Sundays in this market, you are the enemy. You are what's wrong with real estate. You want to know why people don't use real estate agents and don't trust real estate agents and don't like real estate agents? People like you. It's people like you. Just know that. It's my opinion. Deal with it. Now, I want to talk about showings that I had last night. Both of them went poorly. Let's go over the first one. So let me just tell you something about real estate listings online. If you see something that you think is too good to be true, it probably is. And so if you know for a fact that houses in a certain part of town are selling, let's just say 1,500 square feet are selling for probably around $250,000. Okay. If you know this and you see a house that comes to market at $159,000 for the same square footage, probably going to cause some people to stampede the thing. And boy, oh boy, did it. So it was crappy yesterday. It was rainy and it just wasn't very nice. I was very cold. My buyers were like, "Hey, I'd like to see this house." I was like, "Okay." And I looked at it and there were things about the house that were not to be enjoyed. Okay. It was just garbage. But anyway, they wanted to see it and I totally knew what I was getting into. So I set an appointment. It's a go and show. Okay. So you just basically go and show. You just click the button that you're going to be there and you go. And it had all the showing instructions. There was going to be a lockbox and it was going to be on the back door. And just go ahead and go. Well, I get on the street 20 minutes before the showing's supposed to start. And the entire street is full of cars. Okay. This is a Friday afternoon at like 6. Okay. The entire street, there's no place to park. I'm looking at the house with the sign in front of it, and there are people lined up outside and in the backyard. Okay, so what does that tell me? Number one, house has been mispriced. Number two, I don't want to have anything to do with it because someone's going to pay a stupid amount of money for a house that doesn't exist. Number three, the real estate agent is not your friend, the selling agent, because they listed it at a stupid price. They did this on purpose. They wanted this house stampeded. And that's exactly what they got. So now I park. I text my buyers. I said, "I'm here." They said, "Okay, we'll be there shortly." So I told them, like, "Hey, park up here because, it's a mile away, but it's the closest you're going to get." So we start walking down the street to this house. It's got a sidewalk. It's nice. A neighbor stops us and said, "Is there an open house over there?" I said, "No. This is just the demand for the house right now." Now, these people are just blown away because, houses don't sell for what it's a bad deal. So we get up closer to the house and there's like people all over the place. It's the worst of the worst. Like you're never buying this house. You're never the one winning this bid. No matter what price you put down, you're not going to win. All right. So we go around the back. Okay. There's like 30 people in the backyard. I said, "Do you really want to go see this house? Do you really want to, at this point, do you really want to do this?" And they're like, "No, thank you for saying something." Why waste people's time? And it's like, "Oh, well, John, don't you like to see train wrecks?" Yes, but I don't like all kinds of people up in my mix all the time. I don't, it doesn't make me. And when you go to a house and it's like that, it kind of makes you not want to do it. Now you say, "John, you've probably done that on one of your listings." I don't know. The last listing I did, we had a lot of traffic and I drove by it and there were some people there, but like 2 or 3 agents at one time is not bad. I understand it. It's a busy market. No big deal. But like 6, like 30 people, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So the request for the showing came in. for feedback, and I said it was a wonderful listing and good luck. Congratulations on your eventual sale. Why? Why didn't you complain? Viciously, rip a new one in the no. What's the point? What's the point? Where do I benefit by telling the seller that this is ridiculous? I don't. First of all, I don't have the listing. Second of all, I'm not getting a listing. Third, I'm just going to piss off the agent. And the agent isn't somebody that I even particularly care for. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like there's nothing along that line where I benefit or my buyers benefit. So just don't do it. It's not worth it. Anyway, finally, I set another showing. Gosh, I'm running long and I'm sorry. I set another showing for after that. So we go to that showing with different buyers. First time out with these buyers in a while. Go to the house. There's 2 keys. I put both keys in the locks. There's a deadbolt and there's the regular one. It didn't open. I was like, they look the same. So then I switched the keys, and sure enough, that worked. But the problem with that is the Supra didn't fit on the latch properly. So I couldn't open the door. I had to take the Supra and rip it up, then turn the handle, then push, and then hope it worked out. Crazy. But to get in the house, and there's cameras everywhere. And you know me, I don't like to show my hand during a showing. I don't like people looking at me during a showing. It creeps me out. Like with cameras and recording me. Not because I'm going to do something wrong in the house. That's not why. It's this invasion of privacy. Okay. It's like, look, I would like to just show this house to my buyer in a natural setting without you just watching us every moment, analyzing what offer we might make or if we'll make an offer. Or let's be honest. You want to talk about racism? You want to talk about sexism? Tell me about this one. How is that not worse than buyer love letters? If I see someone who walks through a house as a selling agent and the buyer is black, okay, and my sellers say, they don't tell me, but they're like, we're just not going to allow black people in the home to buy it. Or gay. I mean, you're really running risks at that point, okay? Much worse than a buyer love letter. Okay, and that'll be my new standard. I mean, it happened at 9:33 on April Fool's Day. That look, you cannot outlaw buyer love letters and then let sellers film buyers walking through their house. Anyway, I mean, if you're going to use the same logic that sellers are racist, all sellers are racist. But by the way, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. We're not going with that logic. Okay. We're going with people are good people, and there may be a few bad apples, but that's not the majority. So that's how we're going to think about it. And I choose to believe that. You don't have to. Anyway. So now we're being recorded, and my buyer hasn't been out in a long time. I leaned over to her. I'm like, they're watching us this whole time. Let's keep our chit chat to, stuff that doesn't give them any indication of what we think about the house. So she agreed. And so we're walking through the house, and I went one way to work on a door. She went another to look at the bathroom. All of a sudden I hear all this water. What in the world? Where's all this water coming from now? And when you're a listing agent, okay, you kind of are in charge of the home. Okay. If something goes wrong on your watch, you've got to fix it. Okay. So all of a sudden, all this water's running. I'm like, what in the world? And then I get I get the call, John. So I go and I look, and she had turned on the shower, but it wasn't like a normal shower. There were like 20 different jets coming at her, and she just wanted to see how it worked, and it was just going everywhere. And so I was like, I have no idea. So I turned the handle. It didn't work. It was one of the push-pull ones. So I finally figured out, push to shut, drain the water. And I was like, look, we can't be doing this. Like if you go on an inspection, the inspector will turn on the water. But we're not on an inspection. We're just on a buyer visit. One of the things that can happen to me from time to time is I'll open a garage door. Simply enough, I will open a garage door and then the garage door won't close or something will happen along those lines. And that's bad. Same thing with the water. Then in this particular house, I wanted to go see the backyard and the lock for the door made no sense. I moved it to the left, it wouldn't unlock. I moved it to the right, it wouldn't unlock. It was the stopper at the bottom. It wasn't the actual lock on the side. That I unlocked. Then to go in the basement, they had a child lock on the door, but it was one that I'd never seen before. You had to like turn it and press the button and then turn it again. I was like, this was one of the most difficult showings I've had in some time. I mean, normally I can get through the front door and normally I can get out to the backyard. Normally the water doesn't go shooting everywhere. And normally I can get downstairs without the use of the child lock feature. And then I was like, do you have any interest in buying this house? No. No. So was it a waste of time? I don't know. Exhausting. Then the previous buyers had texted me. They said, hey, I'd like to look at this house on Saturday. So I said, okay. So I set a showing for Saturday as soon as I got home. Within an hour, I got an email from the seller's agent that said, hey, man, we're going to take a contract at 10 o'clock tonight. If you want to write an offer, you're welcome. But we hadn't seen the house and we aren't even going to be able to see it until Saturday. My Friday's booked. That's the other reason why I've been programming showings lately ahead of time, because I don't have, my time gets booked. Like last night, I couldn't show any more houses. Tonight, I can't show any more houses. There's no time left. Saturday is pretty good, so that's why we picked Saturday. And unfortunately, that house is going to go under contract, and so be it. I can't do anything about it. Even if I would have gone today, the house would have been under contract. And it was like 9 o'clock when I got the notice. Will my buyers be upset? No, they were so happy that I didn't show them that, or that we didn't continue walking to that other terrible house, that they're like, meh. And then there were some other bad things that happened, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it out of respect for the people involved, but it weighs on my mind. Do I care? I do care about people. I have a deep caring for all the people that use me as their agent. All of them, even like years later, very much so. I get very upset if people pass away, my clients are very upset. Divorces, things of this nature. And so these things weigh on my mind significantly. Anyway, I think that I got through everything. Let me check my notes. Well, yeah. Okay. One thing I would like to say is I've done a list of things not to do during a showing. If you're a buyer, don't mess with the plumbing. Don't use the toilet. Anything that relates to water, don't do it. It's just going to be bad for me. Like, for instance, if the toilet gets stuck, okay, and we leave and the floor floods, the agent's not going to be happy with me. Seriously, they're going to be very upset with me. If the shower, goes whack and starts spraying everyone, it's not good. They're going to be mad at me. And so, not as a complaint, but just two things like, hey, if you're a buyer, touch with your eyes. Is that what we used to say to the kids? I don't remember anymore. But don't touch anything. It's not your house, and it's gonna make me have to do stuff that I don't want to do. And I'm not really I know how to fix a lot of things, but it takes me a minute to do it, and I don't really want to. I lived that life of home repairs, and I don't really want to do it right now. So one of the things I just saw is that I've got a mess. So let's go into an article. Let's get to the rest of the show. If you've stuck with me this long, great. Itchy eye. All right. Today's April Fool's, right? Let's go over it. It says April Fool's Day might be the world's longest running joke. No one knows how it began. Isn't that kind of funny? Like the idea that there's this day, April Fool's, and then no one knows how it began. I think that's funny. It says, ever wonder where April Fool's Day came from? Well, surprise, the joke's on you. No one seems to know its true origins. Historians do have some clues, though. Well, what are the clues? For one thing, we do know that April Fool's Day customs date back to at least Renaissance Europe, but it's likely that a tradition originated long before then. Oh, really? Tell me more. Some historians have linked April Fool's Day to the ancient Roman festival of Hilaria, where at the end of March, people would come together to commemorate the resurrection of the god Attis. It was a celebration of renewal in which revelers would dress up in disguises and imitate others. Sounds like Halloween. It's also possible that the medieval celebration of the Feast of Fools, where a mock bishop or pope was elected and church customs were parodied, could have inspired the day. And it says some gullible fish might also explain the tradition. Other historians believe April Fool's Day has its origins in the 16th century, when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. The Julian calendar began in March with the spring equinox and was celebrated until April 1. By switching to the Gregorian calendar, the new year would now begin on January 1st. News traveled slowly back then, and not everyone knew or was willing to change when to celebrate the new year. Those who continued to celebrate in the spring were often ridiculed and made the butt of jokes. Now, that's terrible. Are you telling me that back in the day, in the 1500s, someone would be celebrating on the wrong calendar and people would make fun of them? It just seems wrong. Seems like we should do something about that. We should go back and shame these people. Shame. Okay. Some pranks included having a paper fish placed on a person's back, as they were called poisson d'avril, or April fish. One of the first known references to this term, poisson d'avril. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. My French is not. I never studied French. I just made that up. It says, it's found in a 1508 poem written by Elroy de Amerval. The phrase itself doesn't necessarily mean there was a holiday on April 1st, but the idea of the April fish is that fish were more plentiful in the spring and thus easier to catch. In other words, an April fish was more gullible than a fish caught in other seasons. It says, by 1561, an early clear-cut reference to April Fool's Day appears in a Flemish poem written by Edward de Den. I'm just making this stuff up. I don't know how to pronounce these people's names. In the poem, a nobleman sends his servant out on a series of wild errands. The servant eventually realizes that these are fool's errands because the date is April 1st. So, great, like picking on the lower class. Great. Scholars say one of the first mentions of an April Fool's Day in English appears in John Aubrey's 1686 Remains of Gentilissimi and Judismi, whatever, which reads in part, we observe it on the 1st of April, and so it is kept in Germany everywhere. Even in 1760, there was speculation as to the origins of the holiday, with a line in Poor Robin's Almanac reading, the 1st of April, some do say, is set apart for All Fool's Day, but why the people call it so, nor I, nor they themselves do know. Look, that is some good writing. We don't get that very often. It says the media has often been in on a joke for years. Tradition has evolved over the years with modern forms of media upping the ante on pranks and tricks. Newspapers, radio, TV stations, and websites have all participated in the tradition, making April 1st a day where everyone truly needs to be on their guard. En garde. On April 1st, 1905, for example, a German newspaper, oh, the funny Germans, wrote that thieves had dug a tunnel underneath the U.S. Treasury and stolen $268 million in silver and gold. One of the more famous pranks occurred in 1957 when the BBC aired a segment showing Swiss harvesters picking spaghetti off trees and bushes, claiming that the region had an exceptionally heavy spaghetti crop that year. NPR has gotten in the fun too. Well, that's kind of funny. In 1992, the show Talk of the Nation ran a hoax story in which Richard Nixon, played by Rich Little, announced he was running for president again with the slogan, "I didn't do anything wrong and I won't do it again." You have to ask yourself on the politics if NPR would ever choose a Democrat to mock. I'm just saying. In April 1st, 2014, NPR published an article, "Why Doesn't America Read Anymore?" The post sparked a heated debate on social media, particularly among those who neglected to actually click on the link. Those who did were greeted with a challenge. Congratulations, genuine readers. And happy April Fool's Day. We sometimes get the sense that people are commenting on NPR stories that they haven't actually read. If you're reading this, please like the post and do not comment on it. Then let's see what people have to say about this story. What about the Hunter Biden laptop story? Was that? No. Although we may never know its true origins, April 1st has come to represent a day of joy and comedy as we move out of the darkness of winter and into the spring. And no matter how you choose to celebrate the day, it's best you be wary of what you read and what you hear on April Fool's Day. Now, I'm worried about this. As an agent, I am worried about this. You say, well, why would you be worried about this? Well, I'm going to show houses tonight. Okay, what if my buyers think that I'm not going to be there? So they're like, April Fools, we're not there. And I've wasted like hours. It's not funny for me. And what if I'm pranking them? What if I say, hey, meet me at this house and like it's in like a terrible neighborhood and they get murdered? And it's like April Fools. So I'm not going to do that today. So let's go look at some houses. Bad transition. This is Los Angeles. Okay. This says $250 million. I'm not looking at it because it's new construction. I refuse. It does say 19 beds, 24 and a half baths on a 36.73 acre lot. And let me just put it out there to you internet and you other agents. When your buyer or when your seller says, we cannot list pictures of this house, of the interior, because of security concerns or because of some reason, you tell me why you can list a $165 million house or a $250 million house on Realtor.com. Okay? And no one says anything. But your little crappy $3 million house in St. Louis, you can't show that, God forbid. You need to recognize. You need to recognize that you're being dumb. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this house. 165 million, 56,500 square feet on a 4.6 acre lot, 14 beds, 16 and a half baths. I mean, it's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful home. Let's look at the property details. All right, not too bad. Let's look at the property history. It was sold in 2019 for 119 million. So, hey, I mean, this is it. A manor, an unparalleled offering, an unrivaled setting, a showcase of the highest caliber. The manor is undoubtedly one of the finest estates in the world. Majestically sitting on 4.6 acres in the heart of Holmby Hills, the manor offers complete privacy bordering the Los Angeles Country Club. Entirely clad in limestone and comprised of over 56,000 square feet, the manor offers every amenity imaginable, from bowling alleys to beauty salons, rolling lawns to rose gardens, a legendary library to professional screaming room. The options are vast and endless, a rare opportunity to acquire one of the most important estates ever created. Now that's a lot. That's a lot to say. It was built in 1990. 4-car garage, 48 days on the market, 26 pictures. Let's take a look. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. I mean, it is a beautiful building. Look at that pool. I mean, that is an entrance. I just don't know. I just don't know. I mean, that's a little bit iffy. I'm not going to lie. That's the bowling alley. That's the screening room. It's a beautiful house. Someone's going to get this house and they're going to be happy, and good for them. I will not be getting this house anytime soon. I am poor relative to that. my standard of living in the United States is probably not that great compared to others, but according to the rest of the world, I'm in just great shape. Oh goodness, why did it go blank like that? Okay, so that was new. The next one's new construction, 139 million. The next one's new construction, 87 million. Let's just go to the 87 million that's not new construction. 8 bedrooms, 14 baths, 21,800 square feet, and a 7.8 acre lot. When was this built? 2004. 70 days on the market. 4-car garage. Too much for me to read. Sold in 1998 and listed in 2022. I mean, and you know that if it was built in, like you can just do the numbers here. If it was sold in 1998, okay, and the house was built in 2004, I guess it's the original owners. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful estate. Okay. Look at that. I mean, look at that. It's kind of got an old-timey look to it in 2004. That's pretty nice. Interesting that they choose. Now, look, it's an $87 million house. They chose butcher block as their countertop. Not granite, not quartz. Oh, man. I'm getting texted out of. Now, that's a bedroom. If your bedroom's bigger than my house, like, all I can say is congratulations. That I don't particularly like this room. I do like the outdoor space. Oh, that's kind of cool. A ladder over the koi pond. Not a ladder, a bridge. I don't even know what that is, what the car is. It's Ferrari, it looks like. That's cool. Let's look at one other. I mean, what's the difference between $87 million and $165 million house? I don't know. I can't afford either. This one's a relative bargain. 85 million, 9 bedrooms, 18 baths, 21,000 square feet on a 3.6 acre lot. 35 pictures. Been on the market 71 days, built in 1996, and a 4-car garage. The Cielo Estate, showcasing unparalleled luxury in the most desirable zip code in the world, boasting 21,000 square feet and set on 3.6 acres. This Andalusian-style estate is a league of its own. The Cielo Estate is created for exquisite living and entertaining on grand scale, with 9 bedrooms and 18 bathrooms. Excluding opulence, this ultra-private palatial masterpiece is set behind large double gates with a stone motor court. I've never even heard of a stone. That's a driveway where I come from. Enter the residence through the grand front doors into the 2-story foyer with a custom staircase and custom dome ceiling. I hope we get to see that in the pictures. Offering a detached guest house, large living spaces, and endless amenities that display the explosive city and ocean views. The luxurious living spaces include a movie theater, spa, gym, hair salon, billiards room, and bar. Surrounded by jetliner views, lush greenery, and manicured landscaping, this outdoor space is like no other, showcasing a 75-yard pool with 3 waterfalls, 2 jacuzzis, a 35-foot water slide, swim-up bar, private grotto, koi pond, lazy river, multiple lounge areas, cabana, fire features, and a barbecue. This is an entertainer's dream. With an underground garage that can host up to 16 cars, the estate can accommodate up to 35 cars. The Cielo Estate is the epitome of world-class Beverly Hills luxury living. Listing removed. I mean, it has been listed since 1998, it looks like, for $7.7 million. And now it's at 85. It was $250,000 a month to rent it. Whatevs. Let's take a look. So it's right way up high there. I don't know. What do you think? They got a lot of fish tanks. There's your billiards room. There's your kitchen. Kind of an interesting style. There's your, is that your pool? I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's just see. I mean, if they have it, let's just see if they've got property tax for this particular house. Yeah, property tax is $88,000 a year. I don't think that's so bad. You have to have 20 million down, and your payment is $500,000 a month. I mean, who can't swing that? I don't know where we're going tomorrow, but we went to New York and Los Angeles. I mean, those are the top two places in the world, the destinations. I suspect we'll see some nice things in Chicago, but who knows? I don't know what it's going to be today. Let's get rid of that. And we've got two articles to go to. I thought this was interesting. I'll do it. I'll get you there. Ghosted. 3 reasons why you're not closing millennial buyers. Now, first of all, let's just talk about this in real terms. I don't like the idea of closing anyone. Closing means to like have success in getting them as a client. I don't want to close anybody. Like if somebody wants me to be their agent, I'd like to be their agent, but I don't want to put any sort of spell, anything like that on them to make them use me specifically. Like where I would say to my secretary that I don't have, hey, I really closed that person. Or like I had 7 other agents and it's like, you got to close. Now there's closing. Closing is when you actually transfer the property to the buyer. I'd like closings. I'd like a quick closing, but I don't want to close my buyers. And I reject that millennial buyers, I reject the labels of characteristics by birth date. This is me. Have you ever been ghosted by a millennial buyer? That is, you met a prospective buyer at an open house who seemed excited and serious about the property. You set a follow-up meeting over coffee to discuss the next steps, and suddenly they disappear. They ignore your emails, texts, calls, or don't show up to the meeting. You just got ghosted. Well, that doesn't normally happen. No. The behavior has become prevalent among millennials in their dating lives, social lives, and even their careers. But why do millennials do this? More importantly, how can we as realtors spend less of our precious time chasing down these ghost leads? Okay. As a millennial agent in San Francisco, I understand the roots of why millennials behave this way. In short, it's all about technology. Technology is both the reason for and the solution to being ghosted by millennial buyers. In this article, I'll explain the reasons why millennials ghost and what you can do to prevent it from happening again. Millennials grew up with the internet and texting. The ability to communicate with our peers digitally and on demand has resulted in a generation with a deep social anxiety around in-person, face-to-face meetings. Whose fault is that? After all, it's easier to escape an awkward text chat than a tedious meeting at a coffee shop. All you have to do is stop responding. However, dealing with a realtor in person when you're getting cold feet is a deeply uncomfortable experience. Moreover, for in-person meetings, the stakes feel higher. Millennials are the busiest and most distracted generation in history due to our smartphones making us available to everyone on demand. As such, at any given moment, our coworkers, friends, or family might ping us and let us know we're needed right away. In these situations, our network of close and intimate relationships will always take priority over a realtor meeting. Unfortunately, you'll never really know what specific reason millennial had for ghosting on your meeting, and it's unlikely you'll ever get the facts. However, if they go totally silent on you, they're probably trying to avoid the awkwardness of being confronted about backing out on you. Let me just go with my child, the one that's in high school. She talks to her boyfriend while she's talking to me. Like he's literally sitting there being quiet while she talks to me, and so it irritates me. Why would you do that? Okay. This is a millennial thing. This is a disrespectful thing in my generation. You would never do that. Never. But that's what they do. Do I like it? No. Does it cause problems with conversations between us? Yes. Because I never know who I'm talking to. Maybe I want to talk to her and not 14 other people. Anyway, that's just the way it is. My wife doesn't do that, but she's my age. And then the youngest one, I don't even know. Anyway, they're worried that you'll waste their time. They're worried that you'll waste their time. And like, you're not going to worry that you're wasting your time. It's weird. There exists a fundamental difference in how the millennial generation gathers information. Millennials grew up with Google and smartphones and thus are accustomed to being able to quickly research any and all topics on demand. As such, millennials often feel that they can find information about a property market on their own. Whether or not this is true, it leads to millennials asking themselves, why should I take an hour out of my day to meet realtors in person when they're just going to tell me info I can find online? Because the information that you find online is often wrong. Seriously wrong. And you can make stupid mistakes because you don't talk to experts in a field. It's like this. If you've got a pain in your stomach and you're bleeding, maybe you should just go to a doctor. Maybe you don't need to look that up on your phone. Like, seriously. Thus, millennials are unconvinced that a follow-up meeting is worth their time. They're expecting to hear information that they think they can already know. They're also expecting you to pressure them with a hard sale, which raises red flags for their anxiety about confrontation. Since they barely know you, they'll often assume the worst and thus get cold feet at the last minute. This all ends with you being ghosted, sitting alone in Starbucks, wondering if they'll even show up at all. Do you have a problem with that? Like, don't take no offense to anyone. No offense to anyone. But I reject the notion that you meet someone at an open house, a buyer, okay? And then you say, hey, let's talk about this over coffee, okay? Like, I myself am uncomfortable with that, and I'm not a millennial. Why would I go meet someone that I've met once before at a coffee shop? I mean, I'm not going on a date. I'm going to go try and buy a house. Like, I agree with this. This is part of the reason why I have my live stream. Look, you're going to know who I am if you watch my live stream. Now, you may say, I'm a millennial. I don't have time to watch your live stream. Okay. But you had the option. So I don't want to hear about, I don't know who this person is. I'm the same person when you see me as you see me on live stream. That can be a good or bad thing, depending on what your opinion is of, X, Y, and Z. But I agree. I very seldom will ever meet with people in a Starbucks that I don't know. And you say, well, isn't that the best place to meet someone in case something goes south? Absolutely. A public place is always a better place to meet someone if you're worried about things going south. But again, I think that you have to, I can't imagine meeting someone in an open house and then going to a coffee. That's just odd to me. It's too forward. Anyway, and you haven't gained their trust. Another reason why millennials are ghosting is because you haven't built a rapport with them in a way they want to be engaged. This leads to a tricky catch 2022, because if you set follow-up meetings with them to build rapport, yet you need rapport to get them to show up to the meetings, it begs the question, why did this millennial buyer not trust me enough to show up? There are two main reasons for this. First, if a millennial is serious about working with you, it's very likely that he or she has researched you on Google, social media, and YouTube. If you don't have a presence across these platforms, you've unintentionally blacklisted yourself to millennials. This generation is tech savvy and their lives are deeply linked with their online identities. Thus, at best, you'll be seen as an unsophisticated and behind the times. At worst, you'll be seen as untrustworthy. After all, to millennials, a person who can't set up a YouTube channel is laughably incompetent, and a person without a social media presence is stranger. This may be true. It's sad. Instagram is the new coffee meeting. Ultimately, the way to build trust with millennials is to leverage technology to scale your report building. Start by producing interesting and frequent properly related updates on YouTube and Instagram. It's particularly important to inject your unique personality into the content so your millennial audience will get a feel for your authentic voice. You should have a healthy mix of high-end glamorous shots of properties and silly and endearing moments from your personal life. If you're willing to be vulnerable and show your human self to your audience, they will grow to trust you, engage with you, and even become emotionally invested in your success. Don't just share your victories, Share the tough moments and difficult work that goes in the job you do. Let them know that what happens behind the scenes. Explain why you're passionate about the work you do and why you're motivated to put people into their dream homes. Millennials are high value driven and will feel compelled to work with you if you can show them that you believe what they believe. Be human, be imperfect, and be relatable. Like basically fake who you are online. That's what this person is saying. And also, my kids are on like Snapchat now. They're not even, Instagram is like for old people. That's how bad it is. You're never going to stay, I mean, seriously. Anyway, if you do this, you'll eventually get an audience of millennials who passively consume your videos and ideally also actively engage with you. Once they're ready to purchase, you'll have already done all the legwork of building rapport. Since these social video platforms enable you to share your experiences and perspectives, your millennial followers will already feel like they know you personally before you even meet. If you've been engaging with them and responding to their comments, they'll feel like you're a trusted friend. In the end, trusted friends never ghost on trusted friends. Very fascinating thought. Very fascinating thought. Now he's got his little stuff here. He's showing you how he does it. I don't know what kind of agent he is. I don't know what kind of business he's doing. He could be doing 5 houses a year. He could be doing 50 houses a year. He could maybe never have done anything. It's possible. What do you think? I don't know. I get though. I mean, I would not want, like I said, I would not want to meet someone. I'm literally doing emailing. I'm getting rid of some emails while we're talking. But anyway, yeah, this is kind of weird. I've often met, I mean, I'm just telling you what I'm about. I've often just met the person at the first house we want to go see for the first time. It doesn't bother me a bit. Why do I need coffee? We're trying to buy a house, not coffee. You see what I'm saying? I mean, like maybe do things that are related to your business, like actually going and showing houses to someone so they can see how you work, what you're thinking. Is that such a weird concept? I don't know. I'm not a millennial, but I mean, it just seems like that's the best thing to do. All right, here we go. 10. I thought this article was funny. We picked up an article on this like a while back, but I didn't get around to it. It says 10 most and least desired home features of first-time home buyers. Okay, so here's the 10 top features that most first-time home buyers said they most wanted to find in a home. Like, I want to make sure no one's chatting with me. I just wanted to make sure that, I didn't have anybody that was waiting. It says, here's the most wanted features. Like the blue is desirable. The red is essential, must have. So laundry room, it's essential. You must have one. Kind of interesting. We don't have one at my house. We have a nice utility room that has a laundry and a double sink, but whatever. A ceiling fan, exterior lighting. They don't really care about that. Ceiling fan, though, is important. To me, I was talking to somebody just yesterday. Oh, look, this house has a ceiling fan. It's like you can go to Lowe's and buy a ceiling fan for $100. Like this should not be a reason to buy a house. And you can say, John, you can spend $1,000 on a ceiling fan. Absolutely. I'm just saying, it's not a reason to buy a house. Exterior lighting, double kitchen sink, hardwood flooring. They say not that desirable, but what other kinds of flooring would you go with? Carpet in a whole house? Walk-in pantry, people aren't that interested in. I don't need a walk-in pantry either. A patio, I mean, every house has one. Security cameras, I mean, again, it just seems like that's not a reason to buy a house. Kitchen table space for eating. Interesting. Just interesting. They don't have anything about 6-panel doors or 2-panel doors. A pool. No one asked that question. So anyway, let's move on to this. It says, here are the things that home buyers ranked, which is much lower on their priority list. These following home features are what they least cared about in a future home, according to the National Association of Home Builders survey. Okay, the 10 features most unwanted by first-time buyers. Based on percent rating, the feature do not want. Okay, an elevator. Now, you know me. When we look at luxury homes, like an $85 million home, I'd like to see the elevator. We're going to a home tonight that has an elevator. I'm scared to death. Scared to death. It's not an $85 million home either, but it's scaring me because the house was built in like 1920. I don't know how to use an elevator in a house because it doesn't happen very often for me. But so this isn't a problem that I run into very often. A golf course. Well, does this mean you don't want to live next to a golf course? Because I could understand that. That sucks. I've seen people live next to golf courses and they always have golf balls in their backyard and they hit them with a lawnmower. And it's messed up. Glass walls. I don't know what that is. Cork flooring. I don't know what that is. I've never seen cork flooring. I've always wanted to. It's supposed to be environmentally friendly and stuff, but it's supposed to be soft and warm. It seems to me like it would get like dirty and nasty. I'm going to have to look up how to care for cork flooring. Maybe I've got it wrong. Bamboo flooring. I can't believe people don't want bamboo flooring. I think it's beautiful. A pet washing station. I didn't even know that was an option. A daycare center. I don't even know what that means. A wine cellar. Well, I mean, we see a lot of wine cellars. I don't really need a wine cellar either. Roof partially or completely covered by plants. That's just dumb. No offense. Like maybe if you have like a flat roof, but I mean, if you don't, it would just fall off. And then an in-law suite. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. That's your articles for today. I don't know. Did anything surprise you? Anything surprise you on the list? I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm talking in the microphone closer. New show tonight, hopefully. Hopefully I can stay awake. What killed me last night, I hadn't eaten in a long time, and since like 9 a.m. I didn't eat until like 10 o'clock. And I didn't eat again until like 9 o'clock at night. And when I ate that food, I just fell asleep. Now, we're going to go a little more like relaxing at night, I think. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be something. I could be wrong. We'll find out. So anyway, thank you for watching today. If you made it this far, could you subscribe? I mean, you don't have to watch every video, but if you just subscribe, I could get my subscriber count up, and that gives me street cred amongst the young millennials. So I can sell them more housings. Like, let's be honest, I don't think that's going to work. But anyway, I've been stuck at 60 on the main channel and like 7 on the live stream channel. So, I mean, it'd be nice to get something, but I understand, you can't just give out subscriptions to everyone, even though it's free and like it matters nothing to you. Like it's not, but anyway, whatever. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're going to have a great time today, and there'll be plenty of stories about my showings and other